Hello, everyone. Luca Mino. I'm back with Gregory Ford. Frank Gregory Ford again. This is Global News Update on TLBTV, where we bring you complete, backstage, up-to-date info of the developments occurring in our world today. What we have now is the NSA probably screwing around with Frank Gregory Ford's video. So we don't have video of him at the moment, but we got great audio. So we're trying to take advantage of that. Greg, I'll without further ado, I'll give you the floor.
Okay, thank you, Luca. Okay, first thing, on our news brief here is something like this. Trump says now that he doesn't have recordings of the conversation with Mr. Comey, the fired former FBI director. Oh, please. All I can say is cut it out. The Oval Office doesn't have recordings of the president speaking to the FBI about looking in and investigating General Flynn into whether he was carrying on, in an espionage sort of way with the Russians. Are you, please tell me that isn't what they're saying here. All right. And first, the next thing I need to let everybody know is I'm going to be contacting my associate and good friend and my former commanding officer, General Janice Karpinski. And she was the one who said, look, she called me when all this was going on. And she said, do you know what we would be facing? She and I would be facing if this was the case, if we had made, any unauthorized recordings, okay, we would be facing prison time, okay? I'd be learning how to make license plates in Leavenworth prison. If I had any of my electronic recordings that had private information and it wasn't government business on any recording I ever made, okay? And I just watched Ron Paul say, oh yeah, well, they're supposed to black out the person's subject matter and name when they're doing one of these recordings. Right. Oh, cut it out. Please stop. Who are these people running this government? All right. I swear they went to Walmart and just grabbed somebody that was available and said, hey, you want to be president? That's what these people are behaving like. Okay. So yes, just for making the threat, as far as I'm concerned, making the threat of recordings of a potential espionage case, which Trump has done, as far as I'm concerned, that is an impeachable act. All right, it directly affects and threatens the very sanctity of the American election process and the democratic process. All right, now, please, everybody's wondering if Trump has been working with the Russians. Oh, cut it out. Okay. I might have been born at night, but not last night, folks. I think everybody in the intelligence community can say that too. All right. Yes, of course he's been working with the Russians. Why do you think he won't turn his tax returns over? Okay, because that will show foreign investment. Oh my goodness, where's that? And what is this about not reporting any contacts with foreigners? That in itself is a federal offense, okay? Especially when you're the president of the United States or you're running for president of the United States, okay? Ask anybody on the background clearance process, okay? In this case, it's the SBI, SCI clearance process, an investigation that goes with it, okay? That stands for Special Background Investigation / Special Compartmental Information, which is what the president is supposed to have for clearance. I mean, and I don't even need to even bring this up with General Flynn. By the way, he was probably one of my former bosses that I was working for and didn't know it, okay? He knows this. He knows all there is to know about dealing with foreigners as a 3-star general in the Defense Intelligence Agency is what he was running, okay? I mean, when is this buffoonery, tomfoolery got to stop, all right? Enough of this nonsense, okay? And yes, and for anybody trying to figure out the whole issue about Hillary Clinton and where is she in all of this? Oh my goodness! Just look at her phone returns. She can't seem to figure out how to work her computer. So go look at her phone returns and find out how many have gone directly to that wonderful humanitarian and that stately patrician president of ours, former president, George H.W. Bush. All right? Want to find out where all this is coming from, Mr. Trump? Okay? Go look at her phone records. Gotcha. Okay? And look at the Pakistani ISI penetration into the Washington, D.C. area, specifically at the invitation of Hillary Clinton, okay, who is presently working for the CIA, and that's not the Culinary Institute of America, folks. It's the CIA, who is following orders and instructions by George H.W. Bush. You know, the greatest drug dealer, drug smuggler, okay, mass murderer of all time. All right, there we go. And if you don't believe me, please go pick up any history book that goes back to World War II, Asia, where all intelligence agencies found it was really easy to support themselves, augment their black operations budgets by selling cocaine, opium, and heroin. Okay. Oh, and we'll toss in a little marijuana, good old healthful marijuana. Okay. All right. That's, you know, I mean, if it gets any more ridiculous, okay, I'm going to quit talking about the intelligence community. Okay. It can't make us look any worse than listening to CNN go on and on with this buffoonery intelligence reporting. Okay. And what the president of the United States, or supposedly the president of the United States, is doing. All right. So with that in mind, I want to skip to the health bill. Okay, what is this about a closed door session? Okay, concerning a health bill that affects the health and safety of every single person in the United States, and they don't have an open door session? I'm sorry, who's working for who here? Okay, and, you know, it's not our politicians working for the lobbyists from the health industry. Oh yeah, you'll get to see, if it wasn't closed door session, the people of America would get to see who's dictating their health care. Okay, and by the way, yes, you are paying for your health care, and as I said all along, put all this tomfoolery and nonsense behind by saying quite simply, the American people deserve exactly the same level of care, same benefits as our elected politicians, who, by the way, they don't pay for theirs. They don't pay for it. Did you know that, Luca? I didn't realize that. They don't pay for their health care. But, oh boy, if you need a new heart and your name is Dick Cheney, oh, no problem. They'll go out and even find some young man to murder for you. No problem. And stick his heart in you. No problem. Piece of cake, right? Look at the lobbyists, okay? The lobbyists that are in those closed-door chambers. Remember, Obama he decided that he was going to sponsor a new health care bill. And so what did he do? He gathered all the people that had driven up astronomically driven up the cost of health care, went to him and said, hey, you want to make some real money? Okay, this is exactly the words he put it in. You want to make some real money? Well, guess that he promised them $15 billion profit. Okay, that's a reasonable amount among all those folks. Okay, well, guess what Trump is doing? Oh, you better check to see where those lobbyists are, because he's got it up to $100 billion profit margin. All right, gosh, what is it about this guy Trump? You know, he just can't figure out how to keep from operating like a mafiosi chieftain. All right, a godfather. He can't think in any other terms. Okay, this is not the capo de tutti of the Brooklyn branch of the family he's talking about here. By the way, he was born in Brooklyn, I think. You know, that's more than our former president could say. All right. Yes. Get a hold of this guy. First of all, teach him how to shut his mouth. Okay. And secondly, let him know who he's working for. Excuse me. He's working for the people of the United States. He's not working for Trump Industries. He's not working for, the gambling casinos in New Jersey. Okay. He is not working for the Russians. IRS, folks, remember IRS. Okay. Israel, Russia, Syndicate. Yes, he is. Okay. But wink, wink. Did you get that wink, Luca? Wink. We won't talk about that quite yet. Wink. Okay. All right. So, what do you want to talk about next? The North Korean debacle that's going on?
Yeah, I'd like to just mention something that I saw really interesting. And I'm glad you mentioned the CIA, because this is my little wink, wink, wink about the CIA too. There's a really interesting video going on social media right now about this young, beautiful girl, young, beautiful Korean girl, crying her eyes out, saying how horrific the country of North Korea is under the dictator, and what life is like under the dictator. And she's absolutely correct. And this is something that I have to say vehemently. She's absolutely correct in what she says. It's completely verifiable truth. But usually I would have been all misty-eyed and all heart-throbbing and everything. But I said to myself, hang on a second. Why are they doing this now? Why are they making this video surface now that, all this stuff about North Korea is going on? And I said to myself, oh, propaganda. And, this fits perfectly. And what I said to myself, what a great opportunity for the powers that be to sway our beliefs, to get us all involved in this rhetoric of hating, just like they did with 9/11 and hating all the Muslims, because this is what the Muslims do. It's the same thing in the false flags. They get you all worked up, and they use your emotions so you can get all angry and all worked up about everything. What a great opportunity for the powers that be to use emotion and upset. So it's a great timing for all this, and it's a good way to kind of get us distracted from all the war crimes that America's responsible for in the world. Okay, and if you think of it, we're the CIA. I say we, because anybody that doesn't do anything, as I'm going to say, is more than complicit, but we're enabling it to continue if we don't say anything and we don't do anything about it. But this country here is guilty of killing up to 30 million people since the end of World War II. Okay, we as a nation are the ones that are doing exactly what this little girl is saying in the video in other countries. We're the ones destroying countless lives, villages, towns, cultures, countries in the Middle East for greed of the few. We're the ones through the CIA who are destabilizing the entire world for the greed of the elite. So, this is what I wanted to get across to people, and I'm doing an article also which will be published tomorrow, which is Friday, on the Liberty Beacon with the YouTube link to this girl. And I think everybody should see that, because it's more than a tearjerker. It's alarming, because that's how they use emotions to get the response that they want, to get us to hate. Oh, I can't stand North Korea. Oh, they're bad people, just like the Muslims were on 9/11, which have nothing to do with this to begin with. Greg, that's my rant for today, because we only have like 10 more minutes, so I just wanted to give you the floor for the rest. I'm glad I said it, because I hope people go on TLBTV also to see this article and that little girl, because that's how we can train ourselves to see the false flags and to see the deception that our government's responsible for.
Yeah, absolutely, Luca. I worked in South Korea, in the intelligence field. I'm little familiar with the whole situation. Yes, I've been to Camp Red Cloud. Yes, I've looked into the North. Okay. So yes, so what we have is North Korea, all right, is a Marxist state. Okay, it's a hermit kingdom, that believes in true Stalinist Marxism. All right, and that's what we have here. And let's face it. Do you think for one second that South Korea wants to pay several hundred million won to try to get that basket case North Korea caught up into a real financially sound, productive capitalist country? All right, of course not. Everybody just loves having North Korea there, so all the weapons industries can figure out what kind of new super duper expensive weapons that will never be used can look good on exchanging weapons and a potential war with North Korea. Okay, nobody wants North Korea. I mean, can you imagine having a bunch of little pudgy, little goofy looking guys that running around with strange haircuts? Okay, in South Korea, no, you can't, and the South Koreans don't want it either. Okay, so and let's face it, how tough would it have been to retake North Korea and turn it into this is 50 years ago, turn it into a decent country? Okay, no, it's just fine as a police state that you can use as a red herring. Okay, as you said, hey, it's a great detractor, great distractor, great redirector of all our efforts that, like the CIA wants to do. And yes, we have 10 good wars going on right now, 10 good wars that the American people are funding, financing, and let's face it, all of this stuff about tax cuts and so forth. Hey, tax cuts for the rich. Read my lips, okay? No new taxes. Oh gosh, he couldn't even resist that. We got new taxes, okay? They never go down, at least for the working class people of America who make all the decisions and pay all the bills. Okay, all right. So, are you still there, Luca?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, and that was the NSA's response to my statements. Okay,
There you go.
so and with a missile, I can guarantee they are not going to hit us with a missile. All right, President Ung, okay, Kim Jong Un, okay, is speaking to Vladimir Putin every single day. Hey, homie. Oh, yo, yeah, what's up, bro? Okay, hey, you got any kimchi you want to send over? Okay, that's the nature of this conversation. Okay, so hey, let's face it. The North Koreans want what United States have. They want what South Korea has. Okay, you think they want to run around dressed, in second grade woolen clothes like they do? No, they want to be someplace nice, have a nice hotel, drive nice cars, and have a bunch of beautiful women on TV to look at. Okay, that's what they really want. They don't want to blow everything up. Are you kidding? Hey, as I've always said, Kim Jong Un might be nuts, but he's not crazy. Okay, and that's what I have to say about all of this hoopla on CNN. Excuse me, fake news. He should have called it pimp news. I just found out today that CNN is entirely pimped out. Whoever pays them the most money, that's who they give good reports about, or no reports about in the news. Okay, that's CNN. I just found that out today. Okay, so that's the desperate straits we are in right now. We've got the former candidate for president running around, seizing little children. Okay, it's called pedophilia. Okay, she runs her rings. She's involved in slavery. Okay, we've got a president now that nobody's quite sure if he's a spy or he's working for an organized crime cartel. Okay, that's what kind of situation we're in. Did anybody ever think, okay, that we'd be in this position? I certainly didn't when I was spending my 30 years in the intelligence business. So anyway, that's what I have to say about today, Luca. Okay, and I hope your folks are listening.
Yeah, well, you did get cut out a few times, but we can make out what you're saying. But Greg, again, in closing, I just want to thank you again, like I always do, for your wisdom and your insight. And we'll talk again on Global News Update on Monday.
Okay. By the way, I just spoke to somebody, and that was my ghostwriter, my author. All right, who is co-author, was working on my book. Okay, so everybody they're going to be treated And anybody that wants to buy my book, I will sign my book for them, okay? And you'll get to hear all of this. All of this that I'm saying, you'll get to hear all about, okay, in my book. All right?
Right
So,
on.
anyway, remember, two degrees west of treason, okay? So, anyway, we'll be talking, Luca, and thanks so much for
Thank you,
having me
Greg.
on.
Okay, we'll see you
Okay.
Monday.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.